struggled for a long time with surviving. No matter what, you keep finding something to fight for.
Hello everybody, this is Snarist, and welcome back to the continuation of my Last of Us Part 1 Grounded Difficulty Guide, and this is Part 9, Bus Depot. And this is probably the shortest video I'm going to make for this walkthrough, besides the next one, although I think the next one is a little bit longer. And this is the countdown to the end of the game pretty much, as we wander outside the quarantine zone of Salt Lake City in Utah, I believe that is. Not American, don't really know my locations all that well. So there's going to be a rag and there's going to be a couple of bits and pieces lying around here, but I don't need them because I'm full up on those supplies. I'm pretty much all set to go. And there's only one really big sequence coming up when it comes to combat. It's going to be a whole lot of infected. They're difficult to sneak past because there's a bloater as well. And so we're going to deal with a couple of clickers, we're going to deal with a bloater, we're going to deal with a bunch of other infected, but then we're going to sneak the rest of the way. And I'm going to speed up that footage as well. So this whole section here is going to be sped up because just a lot of looting, a lot of walking and talking. Joel finally laying to rest his demons and Ellie learning to accept them as she's recovering from her trauma that David put on her. There's dumpster over here, some parts lying beside it, and some of these tents there's even more parts. There's level 5 tools in there as well, along with some pills. You definitely want the level 5 parts. And this is where I get a bit reckless with some of my upgrades, because I don't really need to upgrade anything more really, but I still do it anyway. Because the El Diablo is a gun that quite a few of the Fireflies carry around with them. So I'm just going to get some upgrades for the El Diablo in preparation for finding ammo for it, just so it's a lot better off. But yeah, I think going forward, this is definitely this should almost be the standard of what my series is going to be covering, whatever game it is going forward. It definitely helps that I love this game so much and it means so much to me, and why it hurts that much more to get part 2 like how we did. But yeah, this game, man, it both caused a lot of massive destruction to a lot of games these days, like how Dark Souls kind of ruined this whole new subgenre we've got, where they invented a new thing, and when they invented a new thing, suddenly we got every other game trying to be that thing after all these years. Just annoying as fuck. Never got every other game trying to be a movie game. Just annoying as fuck. And that's why, for as dull as it seems, a good old hack and slash, even Ninja Gaiden 4 from last year, Ninja Gaiden 4 was still my game of the year because it is unapologetically, a good old hack and slash from back, the games I used to grow up with. Stories definitely had some depth to them, and they definitely had some sort of heart to them, even if they weren't the deepest, almost thought-provoking things on the planet. They were just good. They were just good and balanced in all things that really mattered. And they felt good to play. That was the most important thing. So, oh yeah, don't forget there's an arrow in front of this Humvee, so pick that up. And yeah, just going forward, I think this is the standard, just taking out all the pointless sequences that you know how to do yourself, quick time events, things you can do yourself, all the walking and talking in the cutscenes, just cut them out. And if there's a lot of looting or a lot of searching around to do, unless there's something to do with specific timing or skill involved, I think speeding up the footage is definitely a good idea to do it. And I think in these videos, because I can't hear anything, and I'm just watching it play out, because otherwise it would carry through my headphones and mic and distract me a lot, and would be very unpleasant to listen to. Yeah, I mute the volume and the sequences where it's all sped up, so you avoid all the squeaky noises. So in the sequence here, I'm just going to be using the flamethrower to set the bloater on fire, and I use it, and if you hold the trigger long enough on it, it interrupts it and kind of halts it. But I want to save the flamethrower as well for all the other enemies as well, so I just throw a molly at him. Strip away the armor to begin with. And I got to move out of the way because he's throwing a spore. By the way, you can actually interrupt him throwing the spores because it takes a long time to wind it up. You can interrupt him by just zapping him with the flamethrower. What do you mean zapping him with the flamethrower? What is it, not a laser? I'm getting to the end of the walkthrough, I'm getting a little bit silly here. But yeah, just in all seriousness, just making sure all the pointless sequences are cut out, all the stuff that you need to know, where I found everything that I found, where you can find what I found, and either make sure the footage is fine, or if there's a really lengthy Not a no. If there's like a section that goes by very quickly, like at lightning speed, and you need to know what I'm doing, and there's a lot of tech to it, there's a lot to understand about it, then I might slow down the footage and just show you guys what I'm doing. I think I've already done that for some videos in my, or for one video in my Eternights walkthrough where Umbra is a boss that goes by in the blink of an eye if you know how to beat her easily, but you need to, of course, know how to get to that point and how to beat her. And so she gets quite a few different unique attacks, and if you're not careful enough, you can get caught out. And I just don't have the time to talk about all of their, I don't have the time to talk about all their tech and all their abilities and moves and what they can do to you that they didn't do to me because I was faster than you. And talk about it all in just 2 minutes. It's not fair for you guys, so slowing it down definitely helps. But yeah, just focusing on the game and having a lot to talk about. But it certainly helps when you've got a game as amazing as this, where there is a lot to talk about and there is a lot of tech going on, where I'm not even really going off on many tangents, because there's just so much to inform you guys about. Because don't get me wrong, The Last of Us, especially the remake, is not a hard game on Grounded. I don't think so. It's just a matter of you don't know what you're up against, you don't know how the tech works, and there's a lot that's, a lot of weirdness to the game where if you know how to overcome it, you can easily dominate it, which is why one of these days, I don't know when it'll be, but I am tempted to go back to playing the Callisto Protocol, because I'm one of the few people that really enjoyed that game, and even though it's not a good game, and I can acknowledge that, I had a lot of fun with it. Or I eventually did have a lot of fun with it, and I got so good with it that I started trying to do a no damage run, and I, for the most part, succeeded. Not all in one go. Obviously, I had to start from checkpoints again, but yeah, I got really fucking good at that game, and I really want to give it another go one day. I don't know if it'll be another year or two, but one of these days. But it's got me I'm having a lot of fun doing all this, because technically we're coming to the end of the 2-month period since I probably started uploading videos, and I've made so many already, and I've got enough footage going forth for another couple of months or so. And I think it's going to buy me a lot of time to start focusing on some of the newer games and getting reviews for them and everything. But I've more or less come to the conclusion that I know that even if I'm there day one and I make a review for a game that's new, that's hyped up like Resident Evil 9 and all that, like if not for the fact that I like the vibe of Resident Evil, even though I'm not big on the games, Leon's gameplay looks really great, whereas, what the fuck's her name? Grace, I think her name is, where it's going to be like first-person stealth like Resident Evil 7 and 8 have been. I don't know. So because I'm not really fascinated in Resident Evil games, the game is just too big and it's got too much hype behind it that I have to almost, play it to get any sort of relevance to the channel again. Because I'm moving my reviews to this channel, and I want that, I want that growth. Not necessarily for money, but for attention, because I want more people to see this stuff. I want more people to be encouraged to try games that they love or games that they could love on higher difficulties. I want them to push themselves. I want them to, stop buying into all the new games. And even if you're a YouTuber that spends all day talking about the drama around these games and everything like that, just creating slop and mindlessly consuming it, instead of maybe talking about how shit new games are, why not just let them die out completely and give them no attention whatsoever? Or you can do both, and then maybe go play some older games, so you can at least balance out the negativity and the nihilism with something a little bit more hopeful. But people really go out of their way to do things. Like, I'm not bothering right now, but one of these days soon, I want to get an emulator going, because I want to play God of War 1 and 2, and I want to get that done before the main God of War trilogy remake comes out. That's what I want to do. Because God of War 1 and 2 are amazing games. God of War 2 is one of my favourite games of all time. It's my favourite God of War. And I'm really looking forward to figuring out how to get an emulator working. I'm sure I can do it. But, I'll leave it at that. I've done pretty well to keep the politics and all the negative talk out of this walkthrough. So, I can do that for Dead Space 2 with my hardcore walkthrough, but I don't want to do it for this game. Hell no. But I'm excited because it gives me more time with all that I've got left over to spare for the channel, that I can have a bit of a break, and I can just focus on recording some of my more difficult walkthroughs that I either have done before or haven't done before, and challenge runs and stuff that might take a little bit more time to play, that I know I can do pretty quickly, but, I've got to create intros, thumbnails, I've got to get the videos edited together, I've got to do the whole commentary for it all. It's a long journey. But anyway, this is the second to last shift door. I'm going to open up the last one. So I'm going to save a lot of my blades for, more nail bombs. But that sequence back there with the bloaters, it's more or less you just stick to the far left. There's only one runner there, and he's got his head down, so you're fine. You just stay away from the clickers, keep to the far left, keep up there. Watch the bloater that wanders back and forth. Wait till he walks away before you start wandering forward. But if he starts wandering back and he gets next to you when you stop, you're going to have to stop. Then he'll see you, so make sure you time that carefully, like I just did. Get to the truck, push Ellie up, and then make sure you stand in front of where the box is going to land. Because if you wait for the box to drop and you're beside it and you leap forward, you vault forward, you're probably going to leap over it. And so it takes way longer to get back up and get out. So just stand in front of it, loop up, vault over it, you'll get up against the truck and you can vault off the truck. But you need to get down immediately, because if you don't get down immediately, one of them might throw their spore bombs at you and you can still get hit and take a bit of damage. I'm pretty sure you get all your health back at the Firefly lab at the beginning, but don't quote me on that because you might not. So I'm just going to upgrade the El Diablo for a little bit, and that'll be it for all my parts. And then I'm going to skip this puzzle sequence, and I'll see you guys in the next part with the Firefly lab, where I have quite a bit to say, but luckily it's not that hard of a sequence, not as hard as you think. So I'll see you guys for the finale. You all take care now.